Hi, Gregory CuDeeCakes back again. Um, we really have to have a talk. We really have to have a talk about uh, summer jobs. How many of you out there have had any crazy summer jobs? Anything that made you question reality, questioned your safety for sure? What would I how would I characterize the crazy summer job? Well, first I would say it strikes you as crazy. That's not a uh definitely the crazy summer job will strike you as crazy. Um how would I characterize it besides being crazy? I do believe that there is there's a variety of things. Okay, for one thing, they tend to occur, at least where I come from, they tend to occur in the summer months. Basically May, maybe late April, starting late April, May, June, July, August, and right around late August it's gonna wrap up, because that's when you're gonna be getting ready to go back to college, right? And right at the end, just in time to get back to college. That was the craziest transition. I loved that transition. By the end of the summer, and that gets into the other characterization, is the money. But by the end of the summer, you had made, like in your mind, oh my god, you had made and hopefully saved just an insane amount of money. And you, oh, now it's time to go back to college, and you would basically go back, and within a couple weeks, within a month, you paid your tuition. I would put all my money into these little envelopes, and then I would put the envelopes into the little coffee cans, and I had all these little coffee cans lined up, and this was like, okay, this is money for September. I'm gonna be touching that this month, and then this is money for October. This is money for November. Do you think, and I had the money lined up kind of, okay, January, February, March. And then you would find, like, by April you're starting to run a little bit short on money, because you're gonna be heading back to your summer job, because another year of academia is through, and it's time to be going back, and you feel so educated by the time you're done that 8 months. You felt so educated, and then you'd head back to this summer job, and you were making pretty good cash. But it struck you as crazy. It was a crazy job. Okay. Sometimes getting up early, insanely early, getting up at 4 in the morning, getting up at 5 in the morning to start this job. And you knew what you were doing it for, but it seemed very archaic. It seemed very crazy. It was temporary. It was just for those roughly 4 months. And it seemed dangerous. It seemed like someone could get mauled by a bear. And they could. And they have been. It seemed like when you were sleeping, you could be in grave danger. Okay? Although we slept like logs back in those days, there was no issue with sleeping, because when you're young, you sleep so well, and you need so much more sleep. What else would I say about it? While you are in that sort of job, a lot of your ambitions and hopes and dreams and aspirations and kind of what you're really what you're doing. It all relies on that job. That's going to, that's really that job. That summer job was really one of the pieces in the jigsaw puzzle. If you didn't put that piece in, if you didn't have that piece, you're really in trouble. And yeah, dangerous, archaic. Like I can remember working with a guy, and he said, like, like, it's literally anarchy. We're in a state of anarchy out there, because it was very isolated. Not necessarily lonely, but you were very isolated. You were in the middle of the wilderness sometimes. You were down, like, cut lines in the forest. And I don't know if all of you know what a cut line is, but it's a line that the petroleum industry makes, if I'm not mistaken, and it's just wide enough to survey. So they'll cut a line. They'll just cut a line in the forest, straight line, and they'll just check for petroleum, for natural gas, and for crude oil. They'll just check. They'll do seismic vibrations all down that line until they hit. And they've got lots of them, if you look at a map. But could be, a friend of mine was saying, like, it's very archaic. It's very, you're in a state of anarchy. There's lawlessness out there. We're effectively out of civilization, and we're making our own laws. And he would joke about it all the time and say, like, what's that story about those boys who are isolated and they start to form their own government? It was like that. It was like we're forming our own mini government. And sometimes things go wrong, and sometimes people got reprimanded or punished out there. All kinds of funny things happened out there in the summer job. I can remember one fellow, he had his birthday, and I can remember that I will admit that I poured bacon grease all over our camp. I don't know why. I wanted to get rid of this bacon grease. And it attracted grizzly bears, and it attracted mother bears with cubs somehow. And I didn't realize that that's how they bait bears, is with bacon grease. But I just wanted to get rid of my bacon grease. I thought I should have thrown it in the fire or something, but I thought I should just throw it all around the perimeter of our camp and out into the bush to get rid of it. And that's not what you want to do, because it will attract bears. And I never did tell the boss about this or the crew about this, but it attracted bears. And we actually had a day where it snowed, and we went back inside. We went back to the city. And while we were back, a grizzly bear mauled the tents. Like, the tents, there was nothing left. It mauled the tents. So if we would have stayed in there, we would have, like, he would have been dead, I'm pretty sure, because you should have seen the tent. It was mauled. And the next day we went back out, and we were surveying in the wilderness, and there were bears. Like, there were lots of bears in that area. And the one guy had his birthday that day, and we watched him be chased on his birthday. We watched him be chased by a black bear with a cub. And that was it for him. He could not work. He could not go back to work after that. He was just psychologically hooped. And we too, like, we threw our lunch and ran. We literally dropped. We had bear spray. We literally just, oh my God, the bear is right there. And we dropped our stuff. We dropped our gear and just ran. But anyway, summer jobs, crazy summer jobs. that's it for me. Gregory CuDeeCakes here, signing off. Goodbye, everyone.